Okay, um, welcome. If you're watching this video as a standalone, then it's best to, for each question that shows up, you pause the video and attempt it first, then you play the video to watch the solution. That way you learn that if you're not coming from the platform, if you're just watching the video on YouTube, then that's the best approach to use. So we'll be going through the entire requirement and past questions for the common entrance examination for decimal number system, which basically deals with place value of numbers and all of that. So the first question here says, add the following figures and write your answer in words. So I'm just going to write this out. So this is 1,200,000. Then we'll add to that 201. We'll add to that 21. This is 2. This is 2. This is 4. Then you bring down 0, 0, 0, 1. So the answer is 1,422. 1,422. So that's option A. 1,422. Question 2 says, arrange the decimals below in order of magnitude, starting with the smallest. Okay, so for this, I'm going to make sure that they have the same number of decimal places. That way you can actually see. So if I write them out, I'm going to write 0.3, 0.268, 0.075, 0.0079. Next, I'm going to complete all of them to 4 decimal places so that we can actually see. Okay, good. So looking at this now, you can see that what the numbers look like. Okay, so this looks like 79, so it's the smallest. This looks like 750. This looks like 2,680, and then the 0.3 now looks like 3,000. So when you make sure that they all have the same number of decimal places, then you can actually see and compare them properly. So the smallest is 0.0079 because it looks like just 79, followed by 0.0750, followed by 0.2680, and then finally 0.3. All right, so I mean, in terms of how you see them, the options, they won't come with all the extra zeros, right? So you have to edit that out yourself when you're looking at the options. So the correct answer is D. The correct answer is D. Okay, the next one is still similar. Arrange the following decimals in ascending order. So we have to start with the smallest. Now, if you look at this one has the same exact number of decimal places, so it kind of makes it easier. But let me write it out bigger. 0.6754, 0.7654, 0.6475, 0.6547, and finally 0.7465. Okay, so they have the same number of decimal places, so we don't have to complete it, we just have to look carefully. So this that starts with 64, there's nothing else here, so this that starts with 64. So I have, from the smallest, I'm going to start with 0.6475, then followed by this that has 65, so 0.6547, followed by 0.6754. Then I move on to the one that has 74 before the one that has 76, 0.7465, and then 0.7654. So the correct option is C. Okay, so the important thing is when you're ordering decimal, one, make sure they have the same number of decimal places, add zeros where you have to, and then you then monitor the place values, starting from the biggest place value from the left. All right, so that way you are once you've made sure that they have the same number of decimal places, you basically compare them like you would whole numbers, which by intuition most of us are already familiar with. Okay, number 4. Arrange the following in order of magnitude. Okay, so this is, let me write it out again. 1,107, 11,070, 1,170, 11,700, 11,007. Okay, so obviously the 1,000 should start first. The 1,000 should start first. So I'm going to start with 1,107. Then next will be 1,170. Then we'll move on to 11,000 now. Because the remaining 3 have 11,000. So we've dealt with this and we've dealt with this. So we're going to have first, sorry about that. We're going to have first 11,007, 11,070, and then 11,700. So the correct option here is, yes, correct option is B. All right, question 5 says, by what must 3.816 be multiplied to get 381.6? So that'll be 3.816 times, there's an empty box now. So what must we multiply 3.816 by to get 381.6? So this has to be a power of 10. So the way the multiplication works is that, with powers of 10 works, is that if you multiply by a power of 10, say 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, or 10,000, you can easily do it by moving the decimal point. So if I multiply by 10, for instance, I'm going to move the decimal point to the right, one step to the right. Okay, so if I multiply by 100, it's going to be 2 steps. Again, you could say it's because you have 2 zeros. So you could say the number of zeros you have determines how many steps you move to the right. If it's 10,000, you move 4 steps to the right because it has 4 zeros. If it's 100,000 you're multiplying by, you move 5 steps to the right. So for sake of emphasis, I will just multiply 3.186 by all of this so we can see. But the correct answer is 100, because if you look at it carefully, you would see that to go from 3.816 to 381.6, I moved my decimal point 2 places, right? The decimal point moved 2 places, 100. But say I multiplied 3.816, if I multiply 3.816 by 10,000, so my answer would be, I'll have to take 3.816 and then move it 4 decimal places. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And the answer will be, I put a 0 under okay, to complete, the space. So my answer will be 38160, which is 38,116. If I multiply 3.816 by, let's say, just 10, for instance, my answer will be, so 3.816, I'm going to move only one step. I'm going to move only one step because I'm multiplying by 10. If I move one step, I would have 38.16. I would have 38.16. So that's how it works. In the same vein, if you're dividing, then you move backwards. Same process. If you're dividing, then you move backwards. So for instance, let's say I'm dividing, I'll do just one example of this. I'm dividing 381.6 and I'm dividing it by 100. This just means I'm going to move to the left now, all right? So if I have 381.6, sorry, let me get it out here. So I have 381.6 and I'm dividing by 100. So now I would move 2 places, but I'm going to move 2 places to the left. So my decimal point is going to go 1, 2, and I'm going to have 3.816. All right, so if you're dividing, you move to the left. The number of places you move depends on the number of zeros in the power of 10 you're working with. Okay, so we have that. So the answer is 100 for this question. Okay, the next one says, express 9,099 in numerals. 9,099. Okay, so we have, of course, you need to have 3 digits before you start with the thousands, right? So, and we have only 9,000. So this is 9,000. And in here, we want to put in 99. So that would be 099. 9,099. The correct option for that is C. Okay, so the same question again. Express 9,099 in numerals. So that is, now the option is A. Okay, express 976 in words. Okay, so that's 976. 900. Because the 9 is in the hundredths place value, right? Yeah, so 976. That is option, yeah, option E. Okay, express that in words. So we have 1001. So this is 1,000. 1,001. 1,001. Because after the first 3 spaces, then we move to thousands. After the first 3 spaces coming from the left, so 1, 2, 3, they'll move to thousands, and the only number that is there is just 1, right? 1,000, and then and 1. Okay, so question, sorry. So let's go down. 4,062. So that's 1. 4,062. So again, after the decimal point, we have the thousands, and we have there's only 4,000. So we just write 4 there. And on the other side, we write 62. So I want to fit in 62 here. So that means it has to be 062. All right. If you write it any other way, you have something different. So I'll just read out the options that we have here. So, but the correct option is A. The correct option is A, 4,062. B is 4,000, because 4 is before the comma. 4,002. C is 462 because there is no thousand place value, right? It's just 462. D is 4,620. 4,000 and then 620. E is 40,062. 40,062. So the correct option for this is A, as presented here. Okay, so this is asking us to express 50,079. So in the thousand space, before the comma, we have the thousands, and they said it's 50,000 that we have here, and here I want to fit in 79. So it has to be 079. 50,000 before the comma, and then 079. So the correct option is E, that's 50,079. Express 1,009 in figures. 1,009. So before the thousand space, before the comma, I have just one, and then after the comma I want to write just 9, so that's going to be 9 units. So 0 0. So this is 1,009. 1,009. That is C. So A is saying 1,090. That's what A is saying over here. 1,090, because 9 is in the tens place, so it's not 1,009. 1,090. B is saying 10,009, because you can see we have 10 before the comma, saying 10,009. D is saying 10,090, and then E is saying 1,000, but then this is now 900, so you say 1,900. So the correct option is C, 1,009. That's in express 10,097 in figures. 10,097 in figures. So this is so in the thousand space we have 10, so we just put 10 there, and then we have 97. So the way I write 97 is I write 097. That's 10,097. That's option B. Option B, 10,097. Okay, same question is repeated, so 10,097. $300,033. Express 300,033 in figures. So that means that in the thousand space now is 300 we are going to write. So it's going to be 300 here, and then after the comma we want to fit in 33. So it's going to be 033. 300,033. So the correct option is B, 300,033. Question 16. Express 12,097 in figures. 12,097 in figures. So in the thousand space, I just write 12. And then after the thousand space, I need to write 97. So that would be 097. 12,097. Yes. And that option is 12,097 is option C. 12,097. Next says express 23,003 in figures. Express 23,003 in figures. So again, I have, let's look at this. In the thousand space before the comma, I have 23. And then now I have to fit 3 here, just 3. So it's going to be 0, 0, 3. Okay, that's the way you write 23,003. So because we need just a value of 3 here, so it's going to be 3 units. So 23,003, that's option E. Okay. Question 18. We have 15080. All right, so in the thousand space, what we have is 15. So I'm going to say 15,000. 15,000. And then after the thousand space, we have here is just 80. So 15,080. 15,080. So the option is C. 15,000 before the comma and 80 after the comma. Express 20110 in words. 20110 in words. So before the comma, we have the thousands. So that's 20,000. So right here we have the thousands, 20,000. And then after the comma, what do we have? We have 100. 110. So before the comma, we have 20,000. After the comma, we have 110. So the correct answer is 20,110. That's option B. 20,110. Express 20384 in words. 20384 in words. So before the comma, we have the thousands. So this is going to be 20,000. 20,000. Then the other would be 384. 384. So 20,300, that's A. Wow. 20,384. #21. Express 30674 in words. So that's 30, comma 674, comma 674 in words. So before the first comma, this group here is thousands. All right, so we have 674,000 in this number. And then before the second comma, this group here is millions. So it's going to be 30 million, 30,674,000. 674,000, and then finally 674. So 30,674,674. That's option C. Option C. 21. Okay. Next question is express 31010 in words. Express. So we have 31010 in words. So the group here is thousands before the first comma, right? So this is 31,000. You can just say 31,000, and then what's on the other side is just and 10. 31,000 because the number there is just 10, so 31,000 and 10. Okay, question 23 is express 40709 in words. 40709 in words. So this here before the decimal point is thousands. So it's going to be 40,000. 40,000, and then what we have on the other side is 709. 709. That's 40,709. That's option B. Option B. So before the comma, we have thousands. That's 40,709. Okay, so we have to express 50807 in words. 50807 in words. So this here is thousands. So it's going to be 50,000. 50,000. 807. 807. 50,000. 807. Good. $25 expressed 1,000,101 in words. So let me write that out. 1,000,101 in words. So this group here in the middle is thousands, and then after the second comma we have millions. So it is 1 million, only 1 million. Okay, so there's 0,000, but we don't bother writing 0,000 because it means nothing. So 1 million, we just move on. 101. 1,101. 1,101. That's C. 1 million, then no thousands, 101. Okay. Express 1076 in words. 1076 in words. So this is what we have in our thousand space. So it's 1076. So 1076, 1076, 1000. That's C, 1076. Because just one in the thousand space, and then we have 76 on the other side. Express 1001 in words. 1001 in words. So this is 1000, because this is thousand space. So this is 1000 and 1. 1001. That's E. Option E is correct. 1001. Express 20110 in words. Okay, so this in the thousand space here. So it's going to be 20,000, because that's what we have in thousand space. 20,000 and then 110. $20,110. 20,000, 20,110. Okay, that's question 28. Question 29. Express 20111 in words. So this here we have is now 1000 space. So it's going to be 20,000 and then we just have 111. So it's 20,111. So before the first comma, to the left of the first comma, we have the 1000. That's coming from the left. So then after that, we now have the 100 unit and tens. So 20,111. That's option. Okay, that's option D. Option E. 20,111. Express 50,807. So in the thousand space here, so we have 50,000, because in the thousand space we have 50. So I'm going to say 50,000. 50,000, then this would be 807. 807. So that would be option 50,000. 50,807. Good. That's option B. 50,807. Okay, so this is okay, so same question as before. So in this here I have 1000, So it's going to be 50,000. Then we have 800. And 7. 50,807. 50,807. That's option A. Okay. This says express 520084. 520084 in words. So 520, this is now 1000 space. So it's going to be, we have 520,000. 520,000. And 84. $520,084. That's option A. Okay. Express. Okay. So we have 7019. So before the comma, we have our 1000. So this is 7,000. Because there's only 7 we have on the 1000 space. 7,000. And you could say and 19. 7,019. 7,000 and that's option E. 7,019. 34. Okay, so we have 9840 in words. So express 9840 in words. So here we have what? Thousands. So it's going to be 9,000. Then 800. What we have left is 840. 9,840. 9,000. That's option C. 9,840. 35 says find the product of the values of 9 in both 91 and 0.09. So this is in 91 is tens. So the value of 9 in 91 is 90. And here it's in the hundredths place. So the value of 9 there is 0.09. So the way you get the value of a number is you can just turn every other digit to 0 so that you isolate. So the only thing in the number would be the value you're looking for. So you turn every other digit that makes up the number to 0 so that you can see exactly what the value of that number is. So they said we're asked to find the product, which is basically to multiply both of them. Okay, so the way we multiply decimals is we put out, because we have 2 decimal places to consider. There is no decimal place here, just 2 here. So just 2 decimal places to consider, 2 decimal places to consider. So we'll put that aside and then we'll just go 90 times 9. 90 times 9 gives you 0. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 9 is 81. So it's 81 with 2 decimal places. So if I bring this back in and I want to put my 2 decimal places, I'm going to go back 2 steps. 1, 2. So my answer will be 8.10. 8.10. So that's E, 8.1. 8.1. Okay, question 36 says, find the value of x to base 2 if x to base 2 plus 1011 base 2 plus is equal to 111010 base 2. So we are doing operations. This is a binary number system. So it's going to be, well, with algebra, you could say that x to base 2 would be equal to 111010 base 2 minus 1011 base 2. So you can subtract it. So how do we subtract? I'll line it up, but there are just a few rules and I will explain that briefly. So 111010 base 2 minus 1011 base 2. Okay, so the first thing is that 1 in base 2, so let me say binary operations. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 10. All right, so if we work with this, 0 minus 1, doesn't work. So what we do is we borrow 1. So if I borrow 1 from here, I'll be left with 0. Put that 1 here, and it becomes 10. 10 minus 1 is going to be 1. Remember, because we said 1 plus 1 is 10, so 10 minus 1 will be 1. Now, 0, move on to the next position. 0 cannot subtract 1, so we have to go borrowing. This doesn't have, so we can't borrow from 1. You borrow 1 from 1, you have 0. Put that 1 here, you have 10. Borrow 1 from 10, you have 1 left. And then put that 1 here, and now you have 10. So 10 minus 1 gives you 1. 1 minus 0 gives you 1. Okay, now here we have 0. We borrow 1 from here, we have 0. Put that 1 here, we have 10. 10 minus 1 gives you 1. And then you can bring down 0 and then bring down the 1. So the answer is 101, 111 base 2. That's D. So binary operations, you will need to do, maybe need to do a bit more than this. Maybe I'll do a video and link it over time. But the basic rules you need to learn is 1 plus 0 is 1 and 1 plus 1 is 0. Everything else can be derived from this. Everything else can be derived from this. Okay, that's 36. So let's move on to so how many digits are there in 1 million? And that's 7 digits. Okay, but let's see. So I want to write a million, so that means I need to have after the first 3 digits are going to the thousand space, another 3 digits before I get into the million space. So I have 1 million, and then 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So that's 7 digits making up a million. Okay, 38. In a swimming competition, the time rewarded for 5 athletes are 25, 25.02, 24.97, 22.97, and 24.99. What is the record time for the winner? Okay, so the record time is the fastest time. The fastest time I think is 22. The fastest time would be the smallest time. So if we all, go on a race, or we all swim or whatever, the person that gets there in the shortest amount of time, the smallest amount of time, wins the race. So in this case is the person that arrived at this time, 22.97 seconds. That's option E, 22.97 seconds. Okay, so we have in the number 34073, the place value of the digit 0 is, so we can count this out. We have units or ones, some people call this ones. Then we have tens. So this represents how many hundreds we have. So we need to learn how to count our place value. Unit, tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions, billions, 10 billions, 100 billions, trillions, 10 trillions, hundreds of trillions, and so on and so forth. So yes, it's just 100. So the correct option is A, and B rather, hundreds. Okay, for 40, how much in the number 7564, by how much is the value of 7 greater than the value of 4? So the way you get the value of a number is you turn every other digit to 0. If you want to get the value of a digit, you would turn every other digit to 0 so that you can isolate the value of that digit. So if I have 7564, I will turn, to find the value of 7, I will turn everything else to 0. So it's going to be just 7,000. And then to find the value of 4, if I turn everything else to 0, I just have 4. So by how much is the value of the 7, which is 7,000, greater than the value of the 4? So we need to subtract. Right? If you subtract this, you would get 6,996. That's let's do the math. 7,000 minus 4. If I borrow 1 here, I would have 6. Put that 1 here, it becomes 10. Borrow it, you have 9. Put the 1 here, it becomes 10. Borrow it, you have 9. Put the 1 here, it becomes 10. So 10 minus 4 gives me 6. I bring down 9, bring down 9, bring down 6. That's 6,996. That's option B. In 954716, what does the number 5 stand for? So again, we make 5, we keep 5 and turn everything else to 0 to find the value. We would have 050,000. That's 50,000. So the correct option is C. Correct option is C. Kemi saves 3,000 out of her pocket money every week. How much will she save in 5 weeks? Okay, this question is not supposed to be here, but we'll just solve it. In 5 weeks, it's going to be 3,000 times 5. This 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 3 is 15. So Kemi would have saved 15,000 naira in 5 weeks. Kemi is rich. Okay. Question 43 says multiply 0.007 by 10,000. So because I'm multiplying, I'm multiplying by a power of 10, so that means that I'll be moving to the right. my decimal point to move to the right. If I'm dividing, the decimal point would have had to move to the left. So this would be, let me write it here, 0.007. If I move to the right, I'll have to move 4 spaces because I have 4 zeros. So my decimal point is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And then I'll put a 0 underneath. So I end up with just 70. The answer is 70. Because 70 point is 70, right? 70 point is 70. So that's for 43. 44, 0 point multiply. We're asked to multiply 0.0803 by 1000. So I'm going to move to the right again. I'm going to move 3 steps. So this would be 0.803. My apologies, 0.0803. Let me write that again. So 0.0803. I'm moving to the right because it's multiplication. If it was division, I would move to the left, but to the right because it's multiplication. And I'm going to move 3 steps. So I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. So the answer is 80.3. Okay, 45. Multiply 0.0725 by 100. 0.0725 by 100. So that would be 0.0725. So because I'm multiplying, that means by a power of 10. That means by decimal point we'll have to move to the right, and it's going to move 2 steps because I have 2 zeros here. 2 steps because I have 2 zeros. So let's move the decimal point. 1, 2. So I end up with 7.25. 7.25. That's option B. Okay. Next, I have to state the place value of 5 in that. So let me write it out. 5, 6, 7, 0, 0, 3, 8. So if you count from the back, we have units, tens, hundreds, thousand, tens of thousand, hundreds of thousand, millions. So it is million. So again, if you're familiar with this enough, you probably would have noticed that once you count 3 digits, there's a pattern to it. So once you've counted the first 3 digits and sorry about that, you get behind the first decimal point, you have thousands. Then you count the next 3 digits, you get behind the next decimal point, and the next comma rather, millions. And then assuming I had digits here and I get behind this, the next thing I have would be trillions. So you can actually count in groups also. All right, from the units group, which we really don't name, to the thousands group of 3, to the millions group of 3, and then to the trillions group of 3. And in each group, we now have, unit tens, hundred, unit tens, hundred, unit tens, hundred. All right. So that's for question 46. 47. What is the place value of 3 in that? Okay, so this can sometimes be a bit tricky. We have 375.261. Okay, so here, this decimal point means that your unit starts here. This is where we have the whole numbers. So here we have whole numbers. So this is units. this here is tens, and this here is hundreds. On the other hand, here we have tens, and then we have hundreds, and then we have thousands. So we need to learn from the decimal point to the left, we have the whole numbers where we count unit, tens, 100,000, 10,000, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, and so on and so forth. But then to the right of the decimal point, we have the place values that are smaller than the unit. So we have tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, and so on and so forth. So, but for this, it's just 300. It's just hundreds. So the value would be 300. The value would be 300. Again, you could have gotten that by just turning everything else to 0, all right, and seeing what you have. Okay, question 48. What is the value of 8 in the number 6.08? 16.08, my bad. The value of 8. So we said you turn everything else to 0, right? So you would have, this would basically be the value of 8 here would be 0.08. So let's take the place value, right? So this would be to the right of the decimal point. We have the decimal place, we have the place values that are smaller than 1. We have the decimal place values that are smaller than 1. So here, this is going to be, this is your tenth, all right, and then this is your hundredth. So the correct answer is 800 D. So you can look at maybe if you just joined the video at question 48, you can just skip back to question 47 where we kind of explained a bit of this. Okay, so 49. What digit does 4 represent in the number 7324? 7324. Okay, so 7,324. So I believe they're asking for the place value, right? Like from the options. So it's just is units. All right, is unit, 4 units. That's D. What does the digit 3 stand for in that? So that's the place value they're asking us for now. So 743 124 928. So if you read it out, we have units, tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions. So it's millions. 10 is millions, yes. So the digit 3 is millions. So we need to learn to read our place value. Yes, so that's it. Okay, what is 8,209 in figures? What is 8,209 in figures? Okay, so we have the first group, then we have our thousands, then we have the millions. So the millions come, so we have, if you read your place value, we have units, tens, hundreds, thousand, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions. So we have a group before the millions. So this is going to be 8 million. Now how many thousands do we have? Well, nothing. So we just put what? 0, 0, 0, and then finally here we have 209. That's going to be 209. So 8,209. That's option B. So remember I said that if you're doing this by just going through the content, the video, then for each question you really want to pause and try to answer it before continuing to watch, so that you are, because I'm just reviewing the questions. Okay, 5 in the place value of 5 in 2851. So what's the place value of 5? Okay, so this is units and 1 is unit, right? And then 5 is what? Tenths. So it's 5 tenths. The place value is tenths. Okay, what's the place value of 4 in 25.6741? So to the left, we have the whole number place values. And to the right, we have the decimal place values, the place values that are less than 1. So for the whole numbers, we read out units, tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, millions, and so on. So we read that to the left. Now to the right, we read out, start with tenth, because a tenth means out of 10, right? So that's 6 out of 10 basically. And then if you divide that by 10 again, you have 100. And then divide by 10 again, because that's actually what's going on. You now have 1,000. And then tens of thousands. And so on and so forth. So the decimal places, the place value over there is very similar to the whole number place value. The difference is, first of all, you start with tenth, and then you just move on, tenth, 100,000. The same way you'd have read it out in the whole number section, but you start with tenth, and of course the th at the end of it. So this 4 is 4,000. E, 4,000. Question 54 says, what's the place value of 5 in 35,234? So this is 35,234. The value of 5, we just say 5, and then we change everything else to 0, right? So that's just 5,000. That's D. 5,000. If you also read out the place value, you have units, tens, hundreds, and thousands. So it's 5,000. What's the place value of the 5 in the number that... Okay, so we just did this. I guess the question is repeated. So this is 35,234. So if you read out, we have units, tens, hundreds, thousands. So it's 5,000. C. What is the place value of 3 in 8,318? So these are all whole numbers. So this is units, this is tens, and this is hundreds. So the answer is C, 300s. what's the place value of 3? We have 204.34. So we are going to be considering the decimal place value because that's where we have 3. So this is decimal. And then on this other side is whole. On this side is where we have the on the right side. The right side is where we have the whole number places, right? So we have units, okay? We have tens, and we have hundreds. But on the left, we have tens. So we start with tens and hundreds. Yes, hundreds. And thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and so on and so forth. But we're looking for 3, which is just tens, right? Because it's the first digit after the decimal point, so it's tens. Okay, so what's the place value of 4? In 4, we have 476.25. So we have units, we have tens, and then we have hundreds. Again, because all of this is the whole number, right? This is the whole number place values. Place values are bigger than 1. But then on this other side, we have the decimal place values. Here we have the decimal place values. Or the decimal places, which basically means the positions that are smaller than 1. So here we have, so 2, here is tens, 5 is hundreds. So to the right, we have tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, and so on and so forth. But we're working with 4, so the answer is hundreds, right? So just hundreds. 59. What is the place value of 8 in 44.08? Okay, so I think the question is actually asking for the value of 8. Because you can see what the options are like. So, but I'll just write out the value of all of the digits. So we have 4 here is 40, because remember I said, well, the way you get the value of the number is you turn everything else to 0. So if I turn everything else to 0, I have 40.00, which is just 40. This is just 4. The value of this is 4. So the value of the 0 is, well, 0 tenths, and the value of the 8 is 0.08. So, or you could say this 0 is 0.0 and then 0.08. But then we can, if you want to write this as a decimal, the value on the place value section, on the decimal section, all right, this would have been 0 tenths, which is 0 over 10. And then this 8 would have been 8 hundredths, or would be 8 hundredths, which is 8 over 100. 8 over 100. So the answer is E. The answer is E. So if there was under digits, let's say there was a 7. Let me use a different. So, I mean, this is not part of the question, but let's say there was a 7 here. Let's say there was a 7 here. That 7 would have been 0.007 or 7 over what? 1000, because that's 7 thousandths, tenths, hundredths, thousands. So that 7 would have been 7 over 1000 or 0.007. All right, question 60. What's the place value of 2 in 204.14? The place value of 2 in 204.14. All right, so if you read out the whole number sections, we have units, tens, and then this is hundreds. So the answer is B, hundreds, because we're on the whole number section. So to the right, to the left rather, to the left, yeah, we have the whole number sections that we have units, tens, hundreds, and the rest of them. Then to the right, okay, so this is to the left, this is the whole numbers. To the right, we have the place values that are smaller than 1. So we have the decimals, decimal place value. So we have, so this is your tenth, and then the 4 is your hundredth, and then we have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and so on to the right. All right, but the focus is on 2, which is clearly in the whole number section, so it's just hundreds. (61) What is the place value of 4 in 7.047? Okay, so let me write that out. 7.047. Okay, so this is 4 is to in the decimal place value. So this is tenth, this is hundred, and this is thousand. So for tenths, there are 2 ways to write it. It's either 0.0 or 0 out of 10. For hundred, it's either 0.04 or 4 out of 100. And then for the thousands, it's either it is 0.007 or 7 out of 1,000. So the answer is 4 out of 100, because that's the asking us 400. (62) What is the place value of 5 in 4.053? The place value of 5 in 4.053. So this is on the decimal section. All right, so to the left. All right, so let me, as always, I'll do all of them out. So all right, so this is to the right of the decimal point. We have what? We have tenths, we have hundreds, and we have thousands. All right, so tenths can be written as 0 out of 10 or 0.0. 100 here can be written as 5 out of 100 or 0.05. Good. 3 can be written as 3 out of 1,000 or 0.003. Okay, so but the answer is simply, 500s, right? So it's just 500s. That's C. So again, it's tenth, 100,000, 10,000, hundreds of thousands, millions, 10 millions, hundreds of millions, and so on. All right, 63. What is the sum of the values of 2 and 1? Okay, So we have 4219, and we are being asked to find the sum of the values of 2 and 1 in 4219. So the value of the number, how we get the value of the number is that we turn everything else to 0. All right, so for instance, the value of this 2 here, if I turn everything else to 0, is going to be 200. All right, so 0200, that's 200. And the value of 1 would be 10. So if I add that together, I get 210 as the answer. So that's B, option B, 210. 64 says, what's the value of the digit 7 in the number? So we have 275,123. So what's the value of digit 7? 7. So I write 7 and I turn everything else to 0. So this would be 7. And sorry, if I turn everything else to 0, 70 and 000, so that's 70,000. 70,000 is option E. 70,000 is option E. $65. What's the value of digit 7 in 43.07? What's the value of digit 7 in 43. 43.07. Okay, so this is the 7 is in the decimal space. So the decimal places. All right, so if I read that out again, we have tenth, and then we have hundredth. So it's 700. 700, which can be written as you can say 0.07 or 7 over 100. Sorry, my apologies. 7 over 100. So the answer is 7 out of 100, which is E. Okay, next question. What is the place value of the digit 7 in that number? What's the place value of digit 7? So we have 17,486. 17,486. So the place value of the digit 7 is, so we can just read it out. We will have units, tens, hundreds, thousands. So the answer is thousands. The place value is 1,000. So we have 7,000. 7,000 is the answer. That's option D. So we need to learn to read our place value. You should memorize it from units all the way to trillions. What's the place value? What's the value of the digit 7 there? Okay. So we have 14.030 7, 5. So it's going to be 7 is on the decimal part. So if I try to read that out, it's going to be let's go. So this is tenth, this is hundredth, and then this is thousandth, and then this is tens of thousands, and then this is hundreds of thousands. So tenth, hundredth, thousand, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. So the answer is 7 tenths of thousands. 7 tenths of thousands, or 7 10,000. That's C. That's C, 7 10,000. Okay, 68. What's the value of digit 3 in that? So we said to find the value, you just make everything else 0. So we have 235,126. So if I want to find the value of 3, it's going to be 30,000. Okay, I turn everything else to 0. If I turn everything else to 0, I would have 30,000. That's B. 68B. Okay, 69. What's the value of 4 in the number? So we have 246,685. So the value of the digit 4, you turn everything else to 0, you have 40,000. All right, so that's just 4, and then everything else becomes 0. All right, so that's 40,000. That's 40,000. Okay, number 70. We have, what's the value of 5? What's the value of 5 in 15,486? Okay, so place value from the options. So we have units, tens, hundreds, 5 is thousands. Again, you need to learn how to count your place values all the way from units to trillions, and then from tenths, after the decimal point, from tenths all the way, all the way down also. So the answer is 5,000. 5,000. Okay. 71 is, what's the value of the figure 8 in 8,576? So the value, so if I write 8,576, so I just make everything else 0 apart from 8. So I'll have 8, and then that's basically just 8,000, right? 8,000 is the correct option. That's option B. Okay. This says, what's the value of 2 in? So we have 1,476.25. The value of 2. Okay, so 2 is to the right of the decimal point, which is our decimal places. So here we just have 2 of them. So 2 is just, so we start with tenths, right? So this is tenths, and then this is hundreds rather. So and this 2 would be, you could say 0.0, my bad, 0. Okay, good. So you could say 0.2, all right, or 2 out of 10, or 2 tenths. For 5, it's going to be 0.05 or 5 out of what? 5 out of 100. All right, so the correct option is 2/10. All right, that's A. So to the left, we read our whole number decimal places. Let me emphasize this a bit again. To the left, we read our whole number decimal places. So like this, we have your regular, units, tens, hundreds, thousands, and so on, right? But then to the right, we read what? Tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. So we have to go and learn our place value notation. You have to go learn it all the way to trillions, and that's to the left. You go unit, tens, 100,000, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions, trillions, tens of trillions, hundreds of trillions, and so on. And then to the left, to the right now, for the decimal place value, we also need to learn tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions, trillions, and so on and so forth. So we need to learn it in both. We need to learn it in both directions. Okay, but these 2/10. Okay. What's the value of 5 in the number that? So the value of 5 is 500. All right, 500. So we have 21,587. So to find the value of a digit, you just put the digit down and then turn everything else to what? To 0. That's 500. That's 500. What's the value of 9 in that? Okay, so we have 14,129. So 14,129. Okay, so that's just 9. If I turn everything else to 0, because that's how you find the value of a number. You find the value of a number by turning every other digit to 0. So if I turn everything else to 0, I just have 9, which is 9 units. What's the value of 2 in 31, 5, 2, 8? So that's, I write 2 and turn everything else to 0. Okay, that's 20. So the correct option is option E, 20. Okay. So we have 24.635. Okay, so let's write out our place value for all of them. So to the left, we have the whole number decimal places. So we have, this is 4 rather is our units, 2 is our tens, and then hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, and so on. So all of that happens to the left for the whole number. And then to the right, we have tens, we have hundreds, and then we have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions, and so on and so forth. So the correct option for 3 is 3 hundredths. Good. 3 hundredths is the correct option. All right. 77. What's the value of 6 in that? Okay, so 1608. So units, because we are in the whole number domain, right? So tens, hundreds. Okay, so it's 600s. 600s. All right, what now? Number 78. What's the value of 7 there? The value of 7 in 345.79. Okay, so we are to the right of the decimal point, which is our decimal places. All right, so we have, this is tens and this is hundreds. So we must learn our place value going to the left and to the right. To the right, we have the decimal places where we have tens, hundreds, thousand, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions, and the rest of that. And then to the left, we have the whole numbers where we have units, tens, hundreds, thousands, and so on. So you must learn, you must learn in both directions. You must learn in both directions. So the correct answer is 7 tenths. That's A. What is the value of 7? So this says, what is the value of 7 in 47,810? So the way we get the value is that we write that digit and then we turn everything else to zeros. So the answer is 7,000. We write the digit 7 down, we turn everything else to 0, which is 7,000. Okay, so this question says, which of the following is least? Okay, so by considering the place value, right, you could guess that it is E, because this is, the smallest place value. You can see after the decimal point, it goes all the way to the right. So it's obviously the smallest. But alternatively, we could also just write them out, So let me write 0.01, 0.005, 0.0003, 0.002, and 0.00009. Okay, so if you complete the decimal places now, watch what you would see. You would then see what they actually look like, in a manner that can be easily compared. So for instance, this looks like 1,000, this looks like 500, this looks like 30, this looks like 200, and this looks like just 9. All right, so it's obviously the smallest or least is 0.00009. Okay. All right, write down in words. We have 370,874. Okay, so here we have the thousand space, right? So before the comma, we have the thousand. So this is going to be 370,000. 370,000. Okay, and we have 874. So 370,000. So these are 1,000 space. Sorry, I didn't put that up. So 370,874. Oh, sorry, 894. My bad. So 370,894. Okay, so that would be, do we have it there? Yes, that's option E. So 370,894. All right, 25,005. Okay, so let's put out the spaces. We have 1,000, so after the comma, we're going to have some spaces. And then before the comma, you must always have 3 spaces. So 25, so in the 1,000 space, we have 25 and 5, 0, 0, 5. 5,005. The correct option is B. 42,018. Okay, so we have the 1,000 space, we have 42, and then we have 18. So this is 42,000. And we need to fit in 18 here, so 018. All right, so again, before the comma, we have to have our 1,000. All right, so we have to have our 1,000 there, so 42,018. That is C. Number 84, we have 55,015. So in the 1,000 space, we have 55. And then here we have to fit in 15, so it must be 015. That's 55,015. That would be option C, 55,015. All right, so just for emphasis, this is 55,000. Let me read out the others. 55,000. This here is 55,515. 55,515. B is 55,150. D is 5,000, then 515. 5,515. E is 55,115. Okay. Write in figures 53,813. So we have the spaces, then the comma, then this for the thousands, then the comma, then this is for the millions. So we just have 53 million. So we write 53 there. Now the space for the thousands, what do we have there? In the space for the thousands, we have nothing. So we just put 0, 0, 0. And then here we can fit 813. All right, so the space after the first comma is for the thousands, but there's nothing there, so we leave that blank. And then here we have the millions. So it's 53,800,000. That's option E. All right. So this says we should write 105,006. So, all right, so write that down. And then for the thousand space, we're going to have, so we have in the thousand space, we have 105. And then on this other side, we just want to write 6 because it's 105,000, which we have already fit here in the thousand place. And we need to write just 6 here. So it's going to be 006, 105,006. That's C. Next is 148,060. So for the thousands, I'm going to write 148. 148,000, and then here I need to fit in 60. So the only way I can do that is 060. So I've already put the 148,000 here. So it's just 60 I need to put there. So that's 148,060. That's option B. Option B. Yay. All right. 20,110. So 20,100. In the thousand space, I have 20,000. And then beyond that, I now have 110. So it's 20,110. Its 9 is 4,875. Okay, so 4,000. 4,705, my bad, 4,705. So so this is going to be 4,000 here, and then 705 over here. That's 4,705. That's option E, 4,705. Question 90, we have 1,066,006. 1,066,006. Okay, so all right, so in the space for millions, we just have one. Just put one there. In the space for thousands, we have 66. So how do I write 66 in 3 spaces? It has to be 066 because there's no 100. And then how do I write 6 in this space here? Just 6 is going to be 006. So we expect to see 1066 006. 1066 006. That's option B. That's option B. Okay. So 91 is 1 million. We should write in figures 1,020,017. So we'll just put the spaces out. Then we have the thousand spaces here. Okay, so it's going to be 1 million. Just put one here. For in the million space, 1,000, 20,000, so that's 020, and 17, 017. So 1,020,017, that's option E. That's option E. Question 92 says, write in figures 68,022. So in our thousand space here, we have 68, because it's 68,000. And then here we have just 2. So how do I fit 22 in 3 spaces? It has to be 022. All right, that's 68,022. That's option A. Option A is correct. Next, we have 9,854,342. Okay, so let me write it out and then we'll break it down together. So we have 9,854,362. So this is sorry. All right, so yeah, so this is our thousand space, right? And then this is our million space. So let me write million and then thousand. So it's very easy to read, right? So it's going to be 9,000,000 854,362. So the option is E. All right. Option is E. Write in words 11.35. Okay, so we could say, usually we say 11.35. So when we say the decimal places, we don't put them together as you might have noticed that already. Generally speaking, we don't say 11.35. We say 11.35 because we call each decimal place separately. So that option will be B, 11.35. Write in words, we have okay, so this here is for thousands and here is for millions. So let me write millions and then thousands, and it should be easy enough. So it's going to be 12 million. Okay, wait, 12 million and 12. All right, because we don't call out anything here because it's 0, 0, 0. So it's just 12 million and 12. That's option, do we have, yes, option A, 12 million and 12. Okay, now we have write in words, and then we have 10,007, 10079. So this is thousands. That's all we have. And then, so it's going to be 10,000. 10,079 or 10,079. That's option A. '97. Write in figures 5,505. So in the thousands place, we just have 5, right? So that's 5,000, and then we have 505. So 5,000. That's option A. Next, we have write in figures 1,000, 1,307. So in the thousands place, we just have one, just 1,000, and then we have 307. So that's option C. Next, we have $56,001 in words. So this is thousands, right? So this is about thousands. So it's going to be 56,000. 56,000. 56,001. 56,001. Just 56,001. That's option D. 56,001. Okay, you're given two decimal numbers, 1.1 and 0.65. You're asked to choose a third decimal number that is bigger than one of the above decimals and less than the other. Which of the following is a suitable choice? Okay, so it has to be between 1.1 and 0.65. Okay, so thinking about it, I think I would go with elimination. So 0.44 is less than 0.44 would be less than, because I mean it looks like 44, right? So it needs to be less than it is less than 0.65, so that's wrong. So I put an X here. This is wrong. 7.4 is above. 7.4 is greater. All right, so it's also wrong. 7.4 is greater than 1.1, so it's wrong. 4.5 is greater than 1.1, so it's wrong. 0.5 is less. 0.5 is smaller. All right, 0.5 is smaller, so it's also wrong. The only number that fits is 0.75 because it's between both of them. All right, it's bigger than this but less than the other. All right, so the correct answer is 0.75. 0.75. Alternatively, we could let's try to arrange everything by decimal places. Like we're trying to order them. We'll order all 7 of them now. So I have 1.1, 0.65, 0.75, 0.50, 0.40, sorry, 0.44, that is 7.4 and 4.5. All right, so those of them that have just one decimal place, I'll make them 2 decimal places, right? All right, so starting with the biggest is 7.4 because it looks like 740, right? Then followed by 4.5 because that looks like 450. Then next we have 1.1 because that looks like 110. Take that out. Next we have the one that looks like 75, so that's 0.75. Then we have 0.65, all right, because it looks like 65. And then we have 0.5. And then finally we have 0.44. So the one that sits between 1.1 and 0.65 is what? 0.75. That's option A. All right, so 3.814 is the same as which of this? So 3.814 is the same as, so we should just let's expand, write in expanded form. Let's write it out in expanded form. So this is going to be just 3 plus, this is 8/10, all right, 8/10, which would just be 8 out of 10. And then this is going to be 100, which is 1 out of 100. And then this is going to be 4,000, which is 4 out of 1,000. So the correct option for this should be option, I think that's option A. That's option A. Okay, so we have, yes, option A. So we have come to the end of the review for the numbers under the raw place value decimal number system section of the common entrance content. So you can watch the video again, just practice. There are 101 questions here as at right now. So I'm sure that if you go over the video, because a lot of the skills are repeated, you know, over scattered across the question. So if you have the opportunity to maybe try them out again, by the time you've gone over them twice, I don't expect you to have any problem at all with this section again. All right, so thank you very much and have a lovely rest of the day. Oh, I picked 1,000 and okay. So there's an error with this. We picked out 1,010. It's 1,001. I know. I think I said 1,001. I'll check, but it's 1,001. So we have the thousands place is just 1, so it's 1,000 and 1. 1,001. Okay, so that's it. Thank you and bye bye.